What's going on, everybody? This is Taj Dashaun, Vice President of Self-Publishing 30 Days. Welcome back for another episode of Market Leader Live. I'm here today with the Chief Book Officer once again, Mr. Darren Palmer. What's going on, Darren?
What's going on, good people? It's glad to be in the building with my man Taj. Excited to be here for another episode of Market Leader Live.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And today, Darren, I know I don't have to tell you this, but it's the first of the month. You know, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Hey, man, that's what old song does. Boy, you weren't even born when that song came out. So, but that's good that you know a classic. Boy, that shows character, young man.
Hey, you know my old soul, D. You know I know the hits. You know
there you go. Soul, there you go. There you go.
On,
there you go.
You know, and speaking of being the first of the month, I got a text from the Grammar Queen this morning with Stephanie Palmer. She said not only is it the first of the month, but it's the first day of the last quarter of the year.
Wow.
It's the fourth quarter. It's game time.
Wow. Who has that woman been hanging around? Man, what is going on? Man, does she know how to just chill out? Just thinking about business. What is going on here?
Yeah, she's fired up. She's ready to go. Everybody is. Everybody's ready to go for the fourth quarter. You know, it's that time of the year where, you know, despite what happened, it's been a rough one for some people. For some people, it's been a great year. But the fact of the matter is, no matter what kind of year you had, it's game time and it's the fourth quarter. So it's up to us to determine how that fourth quarter is going to close out. And I know you and I, D. Yes, sir. I was going to say, both of us being football guys.
You know what it is when it's fourth quarter, man. For all those football fanatics out there, y'all know what it is when y'all see that.
That's
you
right.
know what time it is.
That's right. For anybody that doesn't know, you might have played a different sport, but anybody who plays football, we throw the fours at when it's time for the fourth quarter. And that's a signal to everybody to not let off the gas, but to lock in even harder and finish up strong. You know? What they call you back in the day, D? Was it 30-30?
Yeah, 30-30. That was my football number. 30-30, man. 30-30, you know. That's what they call it. That was my football number, the 3-0. You know, we ready to bring the pain. We ready to bring the pain, playing defense or whatnot.
That's right. That's right. D, I know everybody's itching to hear your thoughts on a fourth quarter mentality. What does it mean to you, especially with everything that's happened this year with, we won't even go into the details. What does it mean to you to close out the year strong with the fourth quarter mentality?
Well, I think that's an excellent question, Taj. I believe the fourth quarter mentality is a mentality that it doesn't matter what happened the previous three quarters. All that matters right now is ending strong. You want to make sure that who's ever a part of your team, whatever responsibilities that you have to lock in. You have to block out the passing. You have to be, that's why they call it the present, because it's the right now. It's a gift. So you got to lock in. What can you do to make sure that you maximize the opportunity that you have left? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter about those other quarters. At the end of the day, who's going to have the W and who's going to have the L? And that's what you got to keep in mind if you're going to focus on excelling or whatnot. And so for those who are looking and wondering about the fourth quarter, what does that mean to you? There have been some who have created great fortunes during this particular time, during the pandemic. There are others who have been able, who have suffered tremendously because of the industry that they were in or the situation. Let's look at this just in personal levels. There have been in families. There are families that have bonded because they haven't had the commute that they used to have. They're able to connect and be home to eat with one another, to see what's actually going on in their kids' lives. But then unfortunately, you have other situations where if the environment was already toxic, you got, children finding places where they're being abused and they're around those who don't have their best interests at heart. Some of those children out there who what they really ate was at school. And so not being able to have the nourishment that they need. So regardless of the situation, what we're talking about here is being market leaders in your industry when it comes to business. You have to make sure that you elevate your mindset during this time. Typically, when you think of sports or anything else, you think about, the physicality of playing sports or whatnot, how I can be brutal or whatnot, or macho. But the thing is that it's more of a thinking woman or man type of game when it comes to a fourth quarter. Because when you bruise and beat, when you're aching, when it's easy to throw in the white towel, when it's easy to give up, the mental fortitude that it takes to lock in the fourth quarter is what all of us need during this current time, especially in a pandemic. You have to lock in. So what? First of all, you want to control the controllables. What can I control? I can't control the presidential election. No matter who gets in, I still got to find a way to do what I need to do with my own economy, not the world economy, not the U.S. economy. You have your own economy that you got to take control over. And then also, what am I doing for as my mental health? What am I doing for as my physical health or whatnot? What am I doing to make sure that I position myself to get better? And so these are things that you want to look at for business owners out there. How are your systems looking? How are you able to automate? What is the culture looking like for your organization? So I believe those are the things, Taj, that people need to look at when it comes to the fourth quarter, because you can actually win big. If you focus the way that you need to focus, you never know. You can have a turnover. No matter what Q1, Q2 look like, you can make it all up. It's some industries that their biggest quarters, they're in the red all year long until it comes to the fourth quarter. And then that's when the lights go up. So you have to realize this, that at the end of the day, you can be superior. You can go to another level by making sure that you execute in the fourth quarter.
Man, that's some key takeaways, Darren. I hope y'all are taking notes on that one, especially for you business owners out there. I hope you got your notepad ready. You might want to run that back and watch the recording if you missed some of that. I was over here. I could barely keep up with all the notes I was taking, you know. So another thing that Darren and I discussed this morning, because that was all huge. And a lot of people, whether you had a good year or a bad year, a lot of people may have had some wins, you know, and things that might need to be celebrated that they accomplished despite of what was going on in the world. And I think you've done a great job of building a culture at Self-Publishing 30 Days of celebrating wins, you know, and I like to talk about celebrating wins on an individual level. But first, I think it's important just to dive into celebrating wins and what that looks like for you and how that can be implemented in a company or as the leader of a company, and how important it is to celebrate wins within the infrastructure of a company so that everybody is involved in that type of culture and what that means.
Yeah, you want to celebrate wins because it's psychology. I think it's some amazing people in this world, but unfortunately, where you have, you know, people who are so caught up into themselves that we feel like that you have to be weak to acknowledge someone else. Typically, if someone does something bad, you know, you got the trolls out there on social media. You got people who are looking to jump on someone's back and beat them down, beat them to a pulp if they're doing something wrong. But unfortunately, you know, we don't celebrate those who are excelling and doing a great job. And I believe in celebrating everything, because that's the turnaround. When you operate with a spirit of gratitude, it allows for you to go to a new altitude. You see what I'm saying? And realize that if you operate with a spirit of gratitude, it allows for you to soar to another level of altitude. And what I mean by that is that when you have people that are appreciated, when you know that it's, you know, you got to, you know, have a camaraderie when you come with a team mindset, it allows for you to be able to do things exponentially. If you're just a technician, you can be the best lawyer, but if you're the only lawyer, then you're limited. You can be the best tax, accountant or CPA, but you're limited. But when you create an environment where you create a law practice, where you got other lawyers that are able to accomplish their dreams and goals, when you're able to create like somebody who's doing something in a salon, and you create an environment where other people are able to get their license or whatnot and be able to operate, and you might have the building. Now all of a sudden, the vision is bigger than you. You're able to accomplish your dreams collectively, but then at the same time, individually, people are able to accomplish their dreams as well. So when I go into a spirit of celebration, it's about, hey, let's celebrate. Yes, we want to go higher, but we have to celebrate the different peaks that we have on the journey. So when you create that environment of gratitude, it allows for you to go to another altitude. Most people, Taj, they never celebrate anything. And that's why they have that empty feeling when they get the material things, or when they get to a certain spot, or they think they should have a dream relationship, and they find themselves saying, is this it? They find themselves with an empty feeling because they didn't celebrate along the way. And the key to it is getting better, at least 1% better each and every day. And 365 days out of a year, now you're looking at being 365% better than you were originally. So if you compound that, you know, over a 5-year period, that's over 1,800% better. Then you attract more opportunities, better clients, better things start happening for you because you focused on the 1% daily getting better. So those are things that I would say when it comes to celebrating, because when you have a spirit of celebration, you're enjoying the journey, even though it can be difficult, even though it can be hard, Even though you have obstacles, now you're celebrating. So it's going to allow for you to produce at another level because you are appreciating and have a sense of gratitude at another level.
Wow, that's huge, Darren. So all of you out there who are managing teams, really pay attention to what Darren's saying about the impact that it can have on your culture and how that can help your industry moving forward with all the people you're surrounded with, all the people that are relying on you. If you can create that culture of celebrating those wins, it changes the whole environment. And all of a sudden, everybody's fired up to keep moving in the same direction. And just on an individual basis, I've experienced myself, back to what you said about 1%. That's something you tell me all the time. Taj, you got 1% better today. You need to celebrate that, you know? And I know a lot of people who tune in to Market Leader Live are go-getters, entrepreneurs, type A personalities, people who just got the pedal to the metal all the time and quite often don't pick their head up to celebrate those wins and say, man, I made it. I'm still here. I'm still here fighting in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? And I think that it's huge when you can take a step back. It's made a huge difference for me to be able to look at it like that and be more intentional about celebrating my own wins, because that keeps me motivated to keep going. Like you said, I don't want to get to a certain point in my life and I'm not, you know, I'm feeling empty because I wasn't doing everything I needed to do to appreciate the journey and celebrate everything I was accomplishing along the way. So that's really huge, Darren. Was there like a turning point for you at any point in your life where you realized that you weren't celebrating enough your own personal wins or the wins within your company? And was there anything that kind of just had you have that aha moment where you made the shift and started doing that?
Yeah, I started looking at it because it's similar, like, you know, if you have a family or you got a family, you know, if you got a family, or if you had a family reunion, or even if it's your parents or somebody, they, you know, we like to joke on my wife because she takes pictures all the time. But you appreciate those pictures. You tell the kids, you know, you appreciate that later on when you're able to see it. It's something about being able to relive and look back and see your growth. So just like, say, for instance, the image or whatnot, if y'all hadn't checked that out, y'all go to Taj social media page or whatnot on IG. I think it's a photo of you and your brother or whatnot back in the day when you were
That's right.
So, you know, it's those moments that are priceless. You know, you really don't know during that current time how important that is, because you're just thinking like, oh man, it's taking forever. It's the day I want to go outside and play, or whatever that situation may be. But when you look back at it, you realize that that's priceless, because you're able to see what was that train of thought. Just like a song, like we was bringing up, you know, the first of the month song. You start thinking about, when did I first hear that? It takes you back to a place, and you're able to have, you know, an appreciation for that moment, because you realize like, wow, you know, like you brought up earlier, Taj, I made it. You know, look how far we've been able to come. Who would have ever thought, you know, when I was working this particular position and I was working 2 or 3 jobs, and when I first started the company, that it would be able to evolve and be able to do the things that it's been able to do, make the type of impact that it's been able to make. Who would have ever thought that? And so by me, I'm going to be honest, it's about having wise counsel, because I had to have people who shared that with me, and that's why I pay it forward. Because some of us, whether it's being leaders or being entrepreneurs or business owners or whatever it may be, you're so caught up on the destination that you forget about the journey. And it's about the journey. It's about the people that you meet. It's about the people that you connect with. Then all of a sudden you later on able to look at where you come from. So let's just give a real life example of this. There was a show that used to come on by the name of In Living Color that was done by the Wayans brothers or whatnot. I think it was mainly Keenan or whatnot who started that one off. The older brother, whatever the older brother was with the Wayans. And he created a door and a platform for so many other people to be able to come on. And also they were able to go and have their own personal accolades as far as who they were able to develop and to be. But they wouldn't have had that opportunity if it wasn't for him to be a visionary and create that platform. So now all of a sudden, even though he was the top person at that time for his comedy and the things that he was doing, he created a platform. So now you have alumni from that same program. You know, you got Jennifer Lopez, you know, who was a dancer on there, you know what I'm saying? Then you had on there Jim Carrey. He was a part of that show. That's where it's got to break. You got talents like Jamie Foxx, who was on there, and countless others who came a part of that. So those are the things that you want to understand. You got to have someone who's ahead, who can give you wise counsel, and then also allow for you to have a mirror to look at and say, hey, I made an error by not looking at this. And then you can look at, because you have a credible resource or a credible authority talking to you, then you look at like, wow, that is true. I am overlooking this particular area in my life. Let me celebrate that and let me go ahead and calculate the wins as I move forward. And then you appreciate it, because sometimes you look back and you don't even realize what you've been able to accomplish. So how can you appreciate something that you hadn't even looked at? So that's why it's important to self-assess and say, wow, that 1%, look how farther we are now than where we were. And so those are the things that you want to look at and be able to, you know, have gratitude for.
That's huge. That's huge. I don't want to bypass what you said about wise counsel, because I think as far as celebrating wins, and especially going into the fourth quarter in your business or just in your life, you're going to want to have some wise counsel. It's key. Take it from somebody like me who has gone a long time, or who went a long time without wise counsel, thinking that I knew everything, thinking that, you know, nobody knows more than me. I'm doing something different. I'm special. You know, not looking around to that. There's a lot of people doing great things out in the world, like Darren, who could pour into me and point out those things like he's talking about, to show me where I need improvement, or to celebrate the wins, to show me where I'm doing great. And sometimes, like we talked about this morning, Darren, I think we need that affirmation. You know, I think that was something that I didn't realize was actually missing in my life, was getting that affirmation, because you can only self-affirm, you know, for so long before it wears off. Or in my case, I stopped believing myself. I'll be affirming myself, and I'm like, you know, you get used to hearing yourself. After a while, you might need an outside voice to kind of tell you, you're doing good, keep pushing. You know what I mean? So that's something else to keep in mind for everyone out there as you move to the fourth quarter in your business. You know, closing out the year, make sure you're getting some wise counsel from people who are experienced in whatever your industry is, or experienced just in business in general, who can kind of help you get where you want to go.
You know, at times, while you're on that note, just let me interject on this particular piece. It's those who've ever played a team sport, or those who work out with someone, if it's a boot camp or if you got a trainer. Isn't it amazing? Or let's just put it in a song. If you got that right playlist that you're listening to, so you can think that you're beat, but it's something about the camaraderie when you got the right music or the right vibe or the right people around you, that you can go to levels that you would have never went to if you was just you by yourself. It's another gear that you have. I've had times where I might have been working out, and then all of a sudden I'm like, man, I can't wait till this time limit is up so I can be through. But then all of a sudden I look up, and the right song or the right podcast, or I'm listening to somebody that I want to hear. I was like, well, I'm already here. Let me go ahead and crank this out. And then, man, time that went by, 30 or 40 minutes that went by, and I had a whole nother gear, but I thought I was wore out. It's the same thing for those out there who know what it is if you're working out or you're lifting weights. You might be lifting weights and you pushing and you pumping iron, but, you know, for those who've ever played sports or whatnot, or like I said, or even if you have a trainer, if you got somebody pump you up, you know, come on, you can do it, baby. You can do it. Get in there. Let's go, let's go, let's go. You might be, you know, and then it's a celebration. It's a celebration because you were able to have wise counsel. You had somebody, even if it's your peers or even if it's your colleagues, even if it's team members that work with you, they're rooting for you for its success. And so when you had a camaraderie, and it's not just limited to you, and I want you to understand too, those who are listening to this, when it comes to camaraderie and wise counsel, when it comes to consulting or when it comes to wise counsel, a lot of us think we need to hear something that we never heard before. That's totally false. That's a bogus idea. Okay. What you need is, you have so many thoughts that are firing in your mind every day. You have to take the time to make sure that you can have that right guidance or the right person or the right ideology that you live by that can allow for you to make the right choice at the right time, because your mind becomes weary. So even though you might know what's right, having somebody that's able to say, you're trying to decide to go left or right, when you have someone say, hey, go right, that's what you needed in that moment. That's what you needed in that time. It might have been something that you already knew. It might have been something that you were familiar, but guess what? You wouldn't have made the right decision. So many of us, we miss wise counsel, we miss consulting, we don't invest in ourselves because we tell ourselves, I'm not going to invest with somebody and I already know this. But the problem is, it's the timing. You don't know it because you're not implementing it. So it doesn't matter if you know it, if you're not implementing what you know. So you're not going to get the result, even though you know it. So people who know, so let's look at it for this reason. Why would a Denzel Washington have an acting coach? Why would Michael Jordan have a Tim Grover as his coach? Even though the Bulls got a full staff or whatnot of people that's there who working with him, why would he go and get his tail kicked by Tim Grover the whole time? Why do you see people who they might be working with someone, but they always, even the top golfers or whatnot, they going in and they're doing training. Even football guys, you see them even in the off season. Even though they have the nice facilities, they're paying somebody to go to Cabo or to go to Florida or to go to Cali to work out with them to get better. You know, why you see a Tom Brady have his own nutritionist and things like that he's doing to be able to be prepared. The elite play at a different level. They're humble enough and know that they don't know it all. So you would think, why would I have a quarterback coach and I'm the one who's the Pro Bowler? I'm the one who a first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm the one who got the Super Bowl rings. Why would I have this person who never even won a Super Bowl? Why would I have them being my coach? Because you know it's another level. And that's right. Where most commoners mess up. And the reason that they stay commoners is because they're thinking. You keep thinking that you know everything, and you have to be humble enough to say, I don't know everything. And it's okay. I can do this well, but these other areas I don't do well. I got blind spots. So it's okay for me to get great people to be around me. It's okay for me, even if they don't give me something that I don't even know. If I just got somebody that's able to just tell me, go right, Darren, when I'm wondering, should I go left or right? I don't need to hear left or right typically from my wife or from my kids, for somebody I go to church with or somebody like that who don't understand my situation. I got to have somebody who understands this world. And then even if it's a business world, I might not need their assistance when it comes to my spirituality or to parenting. So you got to find wise counsel in different areas of your life.
Mm-hmm. You know, what I'm really taking away from what you're saying, Darren, is investing in yourself, seeking out wise counsel is not just a nice to have. It's not just an optional type situation. This is right. This is if you're serious about getting where you want to go. If you're serious about your business, if you really want to make your vision come to life, it's not a nice to have. It's essential, like you said. It's a must have. It's almost a responsibility.
Yes,
especially if you're leading a team. Like we talked about. If you're leading a team and you don't have anybody pouring into you, something's off right there. You know, I saw a post, a video on IG the other day. I'm trying to think who posted it. It was Keto. Shout out Keto Delgado.
Yeah.
You helping high school athletes get recruited into college. And he posted a video from Nick Saban where he was talking to the team. And he said average players avoid coaching. He said good players seek out coaching, you know. Or he said, excuse me, I messed it up. Average players avoid coaching. Good players, they don't mind being coached. They don't mind being corrected from time to time. But he said the best players seek out coaching. They want feedback every day. They want to run up to the coach and say, how did I do on that play? What can I do better on that? Mm-hmm. And that's the type of mindset that you got to have going into this fourth quarter. Bottom line. Bottom line.
Bars. It's a difference. And, you know, it's like night and day. And so for those who are listening to this for Market Leader Live, the topics that Taj has brought to us today, I think that are, you know, fundamental for your success. And when you realize that this is essential, like this is nothing to play with. This is not, oh, if I get to it, oh, if I feel like it for this day. You can't have that type of mindset. Really, this podcast isn't even for you. So you might as well turn off on this right here, because this is not an episode for you. But for those who are looking at that, you have to keep getting better. And I'm going to close it out with this. I was looking at a show today, and it was talking about the stuff that happened in the pandemic and the different things and what capitalism is. Then, you know, you got crony capitalism and stuff like that, propping up different companies that are too big to fail and all that kind of stuff. But the main thing it came to is like, what are you doing with your time? We all have the same 24 hours. We all have the same responsibility. Are you choosing to get better? Are you choosing to be coach? Are you just, and I'm not knocking this because I know everybody have their time, so I don't want to, like, I'm picking on one thing. But if you think that you're just going to do as less work as possible and make as much as possible. If all you're doing is just drifting through the day and can't wait to get off at 4 or 5 so you can eat hot Cheetos and drink you some good cold beer and not do anything else. We're in an environment now where people got robots, they got stuff automated. Just because you think you are an American and you feel like you're entitled for somebody to take care of you, that doesn't exist. And so the sooner you wake up to that reality, you will be better, because there are people who are working. There are people who are enhancing their skills. There are people who are on YouTube University learning from individuals. There are people who are investing and getting courses on Udemy. There are people who are seeking out consulting and wise counsel. There are people who are part of private Facebook groups. There are people who are listening to Market Leader Live with Taj Dashaun and Chief Book Officer Darren M. Palmer. There are people who are hungry for growth. And those people will be the ones who will be ruling. And so that's why you'll see the rich get richer and the poor get poor, and people start getting squashed, is because that's the thing. You can either complain about it or you can find a way to get on the other side. Okay. And this is not political at all, but let's just look at it for what it is. I see more people worrying about what somebody else is paying in taxes than their own taxes. So let's just think about that for a moment. I mean, I know, oh, this is great, somebody of the free world. Okay, I get all that. Okay. Do you know it's still some people who still wondering if Barack Obama is a U.S. citizen?
Right.
Okay, you worried about Donald Trump taxes. You worried about if Barack Obama was a citizen. But what does that have to do with your life? Because Barack and Trump both have won, no matter who like them or don't like them. But are you winning? See, man, these are the distractions that media gives to us. So now we're more consumed with the Kardashians, Barack Obama, Pelosi, Trump, all these other people, and we're not looking at our own lives.
Man, Darren, I think that might be the next topic for the next live.
Oh, man.
How we like to look at other people's lives to distract us from our own.
Oh, man, I went there. I went there today. You know what I'm saying? I went there today. You know, so we have to revisit that issue. But I want people to just take time just to breathe and look at what does that have to do with you. You know, my grandmother always taught me to, you know, mind your own business. You know, and that's what a lot of those who are market leaders need to understand. Mind your business. What are you doing? Are you minding your business? Are you focused on your systems? Are you focused on the economy of your business? What are you doing to allow for you and your company to be able to soar and go to the next level? What are you doing to get your skill set right so you can find a way to be recession proof? What's the infrastructure? What technology? What are you learning? So if they say everybody got to stay at home again, what are you doing to be prepared for that? What are you doing to gain market share while everybody else got their head buried in the sand? See, that's where that confidence comes from, because you are doing the different things that you need to do. You operate different from other people. So you're going to get a different result. That's the great thing about capitalism or whatnot. But when we get into a society, Taj, where I don't think I have to grow, I don't think that I have to do anything, or I want to do what I think is good enough, and you're supposed to just take care of me because I said it was good enough. I like to share this, and this is nothing against nobody, but life is not Special Olympics. Everybody's not going to get a hug and a ribbon. Welcome to capitalism, baby. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, so that's the thing about it. You know, everybody's not. So we're lying to people. Did you get the job or you didn't get the job? See, that's the. Did you pass the test or you did pass the test? Did you pay the light bill? You know, I'm in the South, so I'm saying the loud. Did you pay the electricity? Did you pay the electricity bill? You know what I'm saying, or whatnot? You know, but did you pay it or didn't you pay it? Did you make payroll or didn't you make payroll? Did you pay the car insurance or didn't you pay the car insurance? Did she go out on a date with you or she didn't go out on a date with you? Because she didn't go, you by yourself. So these are the things that we got to keep in mind when we look at this. Dr. Charlie showing love. Shout out to the birthday girl, Dr. Charlie in the building.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Fourth
birthday,
quarter.
Dr. Charlie, fourth quarter. She got a cowbell and all ready to go. For the fourth quarter, we're going to do this thing. But yeah, Taj, man, did you have any last comments, Taj, before we close it out, bro?
The only thing I wanted to add to that was, did you write the book or is it still sitting on your hard drive?
Come on, man.
Do you still have the written on your Google Docs?
There you go.
Did you write the book?
There you go. There you go. And one more step as we close it out with Taj bringing up. I see so many people who think they deep because they say they got a book. No, you don't. Is the book published? Well, I've done 5 books. Where is it at? Is it published yet? But now it's on my drive. That don't count. It's on my USB drive. That don't count. It's in my folder. It's in my file notebook. That don't count. Because if it did count, why did you put it out? That's what counts. Men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. So get the book done. But hey, this is another episode of Market Leader Live. Taj Dashaun, man, thank you so much, man, for coming on in, representing out of California. Yay, we thank you. Grateful and thankful for having you come on, man, doing an excellent job as VP. Make sure that you connect to some of our other shows as well. We have Writers Therapy that aired today, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure you check that out for my wonderful editing crew, a part of our editing crew. Dr. Charlie, the book mama. Then you got Stephanie Palmer, the grammar queen. Also, make sure every weekday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time that you catch us on Market Leader Live. Either me or Taj or both of us together. We'll have a guest that comes on where we're able to hear from industry titans. Also, we have the Author Spotlight. Award-winning Author Spotlight that airs on Sunday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we go behind the scenes with best-selling authors from across the globe. And then don't forget about Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We have the Self-Publishing 30 Days podcast, which is for first-time authors and whatnot, and those who are aspiring to be authors to learn and glean from those who just did it with a fresh approach. Also on Thursday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, we have the Power of Story, where you're able to hear from change agents who are making a difference locally and globally. If you need assistance, if you need help, reach out to us at self-published, the letter N as in Nancy, 30days.com. Until next time, if you want change, be the change. Be blessed and be great.